Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Board Gamer. It's been quite some time since my last video and I have to apologise for that. What with the global pandemic, being a stay-at-home dad and having to home tutor my children, my hands have been kind of full. But I've been missing out on my hobby time and doing my YouTube videos, which I'm kind of a bit bummed about because I enjoy doing those things. And it's really started to kind of get on top of me a bit. So for my New Year's resolution, I am trying to bring back doing these videos on a regular occurrence and painting miniatures, which really has been something that's really slipped. So over this first week of 2021, I've set my resolution of painting one miniature each day. So at the end of a week, I want to have 7 miniatures painted. So this week I actually surpassed myself. I've actually managed to paint 9 miniatures. Now, that doesn't seem a lot to a lot of people because they can do batch painting and they can just paint up really quick. I can't do that. I'm a really slow painter and I like to enjoy it. I find it quite stressful if I'm painting too many miniatures at a time. So, one a day seems like a good sort of compromise to getting some stuff done and not getting myself stressed out about it. So most of the miniatures I've painted up this week are Stormtroopers from Star Wars Legion. There you go. My wife kindly bought me it for Christmas and I'm really enjoying painting these miniatures up because they sort of bring back my childhood because I was a boy of the 80s and I played with my Star Wars men, which is really fake. But I also painted up this little girl, which is Anther from Zombicide Black Plague. I believe she was one of the Kickstarter miniatures, but there she is. And yeah, I really enjoyed painting again, actually. I really need to try and stick to this painting miniatures because it really does calm me out a bit. So I'll go down to some close-up pictures so you can see what these minis look like up close and personal, and I'll give you a bit of a description of how I painted them. So first of all, yeah, the Stormtroopers. So I painted them up white, obviously, to begin with, and then null oil them all over, and then re-pick out their white armor again, trying to stay away from the recesses, etc., and keeping a nice line to show shadows, etc. Now they look like they should be easy miniatures to paint, but because of the white and black nature of them, they're really not that easy to paint. Plus there's all those little vents you have to paint around to make sure you don't fill them in, because that would just look weird. So yeah, actually they're quite time consuming to paint up, but they're really nice miniatures. They do come with like this mold line across the top of their heads, which is a real pain in the butt because you have to get that smooth because they got a domed helmet obviously, and a big line across it would just look really weird. So next we got Anther, and Anther I painted up. Anther, is from Zombicide Black Plague, and I think she was a Kickstarter model. And she's a really nice looking model. She's got quite a delicate little face, and you have to be careful when you're doing like delicate women faces on miniatures because if you do the usual sort of really strong highlighting, it's going to make them look really strange because their features aren't that broad and that muscular. So yeah, I painted her up with lots of reds and blues to, contrast. And I think for a board game miniature, I think she came up pretty nice. I'll be quite happy to use her in, say, a war party for Frostgrave or something, as a witch. And I think she'd turn out pretty good. Now, these won't be weekly videos. I'm thinking that this first one, I needed to get back into recording, so this is kind of to iron out all the bugs that I've probably got recording-wise. But I'll probably do it at the end of the month to show you whether or not I managed to stick with my resolution of painting 1 miniature per day. Next on my paint table are a bunch of these Star Saga. Oops, if you can see them. Yeah, you can. A bunch of these Star Saga plague victims, or plague zombies, if you like. And this really kind of cool Star Saga Vermin model. And also, which are a bit more taxing, I think, these DC superheroes, Grifter and Killer Frost. Now, they're going to be a bit more of a problem for me and they're going to slow me down quite a bit. But the fact that I've done 9 this week means that I can, you know, I can paint slightly less next week, maybe to a higher detail, like with the Killer Frost and Grifter. And hopefully it'll work out, that I'm still painting the 7 a week. But yeah, I hope to see you. I hope to be here again next week with another video, and I hope you're here too. But until next time, goodbye from Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.